Good day. This is Elizabeth Miller about dementia and changes in behavior due to the dementia. What is dementia? Dementia is the term used to describe the symptoms of a large group of illnesses which cause a progressive decline in a person's functioning. It is a broad term used to describe a loss of memory, intellect, rationality, social skills and physical functioning. There are many types of dementia, including Alzheimer's disease, vascular dementia, frontotemporal dementia, and Lewy body disease. Dementia or neurocognitive decline is caused by damage to brain structures. Many people associate dementia with memory loss, but depending on the type of dementia, many other aspects like speech, comprehension, and behavior are also affected. If you are, just like I am, if you're involved in the care of someone living with dementia, you may come across uncharacteristic and vexing odd behavior in a person that you care for. Looking only to the pathological side, the changes in the brain, to explain the changes in behavior such as screaming and behaving in strange ways can easily tempt us to rely on drugs, which is what Cohen-Mansfield said. Instead, we must also consider the environment. It's a complex interaction of all the elements in our environment. Reisberg describes 7 different stages of the dementia journey, and changes in behavior can occur at any of those stages. One of my heroes in dementia education is Deepa Snow. She says people are people first, then they have dementia or neurocognitive deterioration. With that, she talks about our temptation to focus on the shortcomings of a person, on their problems, on their disease, and see them through that lens. But we have to learn to see the person in a holistic way. In 1968, Maslow argued that humans are motivated by needs which are hierarchically organized. Now, Deepa Snow, she simply talks about the five basic human needs. Number 1, hunger and thirst. They are a powerful motivator for every child and adult, with or without dementia. Wouldn't you agree? Number 2, the wake-sleep cycles and rest. Its regulation can really be disrupted in people with dementia. When your person that you're looking after is asleep, take care to wake them very, very slowly, so not to upset the emotional balance, which is precarious. Number 3, elimination of waste. Never underestimate its impact on the well-being and subsequently the behavior of this aspect. The person might become fidgety, uptight, anxious. Well, anybody actually does, but even more so people with dementia who may have issues in communicating this need. Number 4, personal comfort and preferences. They do play a big role. Some people are easily cold, others might be too hot. Textures can be scratchy. They need the right personal space and distance that's appropriate for them. Every person has different preferences there. Sound, volume, pitch, they all play a role, as does lighting intensity and visual input. Number 5, pain. Many people with dementia do experience pain and are not given enough pain relief. Unremitting pain, Deepa says, can't be survived. I find it very interesting. Sometimes a person is wailing or screaming or doing things we consider stupid, and there's always an underlying cause. And often we need to play detective to understand what the need really is. The cause could be pain or other discomfort, or just the inability to use prior coping or communication strategies. And an impairment of the ability to verbalize, to communicate, or even to realize what the problem is, to know, to comprehend, to analyze why they are feeling funny, why there is pain, where is the pain. Sometimes they just can't tell you where the pain is or what is sore. They're just exhibiting the classic symptoms of being very uncomfortable or being in pain. And the environment stimulus doesn't change if people don't understand what the problem is and if they cannot find out what adjustments need to be made. Research by Cohen-Mansfield, published in 2014, suggests that people with dementia seek to address unmet needs through their behaviour. That could be unaddressed physical pain or discomfort. It could be lack of social contacts and loneliness. It could be boredom, inactivity, and sensory deprivation. And it could be depression, which may be the result of lack of positive experiences or lack of control. Now, what are some of those typical behaviors which are common behavioral expressions communicating an unmet need? It could be repetitive questions, which can be very annoying. When is so-and-so coming home, for example? Shadowing, following you around, not giving you even chance to even go to the bathroom by yourself. It communicates a need to have a stability, somebody with stability next to them, a need for companionship in a frightening and disorientated world. Fidgeting. This could also mean the person needs to go to the bathroom. Non-cooperating, just being tired, being irritated, being not happy with the situation. Resistance to care or refusal of care. That could simply mean that they are afraid of the water being hot, cold, the bathroom being threatening to them, too bright or scary. Being afraid of the lifting machine. That causes a lot of angst. That loss of control and being left tangling in the air. It can be a very frightening situation, which can be expressed also as aggression or hoarding, a need for holding on to things, of controlling the environment, crying out, calling out, hiding things. It could be withdrawal and apathy. It could be so much more. You will find your own expressions of unmet needs that you will meet. But just know it is the changed behavior is often associated with an unmet need. Now, not all is lost. Can I suggest some possible approaches? The first one is about validation, emotional empathy, reassurance, and activity to learn more about the person. Validation means to acknowledging that his form of communication has been received, and the opposite would be to ignore. For example, this morning, this person said, I want to go to the city. Now, I could have said, it's impossible for you to go to the city. You're in a closed facility. It's not allowed. That would just really exacerbate the situation. Instead, I said, you want to go to the city. You want to visit your relative. Okay, I can see that this is really important for you. That already establishes a connection. And I can just pause there and look at him and empathize. then it might be possible to redirect and to say, you know, I think it might be a good idea to have lunch first. What do you think? Ah, yeah, okay. Well, come, lunch is only in 1 hour. Let's do one thing at a time and then consider things again. And that often just really resolves the situation for that particular day, for that particular hour, for that particular morning. It just gives us time and gives some space. Reassurance is also important. It's to say, hi, I'm here. How can I help you? What is bothering you? Kindness and optimism is often received much better than criticism and harshness. It is important that we learn more about them and their social connections, their habits, and what is important to them. The RAM approach is about reducing the emotions and reassuring, about assessing the needs, which means a lot of detective work, and meeting the needs, if at all possible. So reassurance is going a long way, and giving that person the feeling that we are doing this together. I'm in here with you. Today, a gentleman wanted to go to the opposite side of the facility. Now, I know him well enough that he will not just easily be talked out of that. And I had a chance to have a few minutes, so I said, okay. I said, what is on the other side? What is there? Why do you want to go there? He didn't know. I said, okay, let's go and check it out. So we went by a wheelchair and looked out the window for a while and noted the changed landscape, the autumn leaves, the cars going by, the children on the tricycle going by. And it just reduced his emotion, and it reassured him that we're in this together. Many times we can do something to meet the need immediately. It's not always possible, but to do it as quickly as possible. And then we can sometimes also substitute or simulate the needs. Instead of going, for example, out into the traffic, we took him for a tour around the facility, and it just really calmed him. We can often distract and redirect the focus by pointing out things that we can do that are fun and that are comforting, like often a cup of tea does wonders, or a piece of chocolate, or let's do a puzzle together, or just think of things that this person does usually enjoy and that might take the mind off it. Reality orientation usually does not work, or to say, no, you're not allowed to be out of the facility. That doesn't work at all. We don't do that. But redirecting and distracting and taking the person, treating the person not as a silly person, but as somebody who deserves to be taken seriously, goes a long way to calm them. Consider the whole person. Bob Woods, 2012, said that people with dementia do better when care staff have a positive outlook regarding the achievement potential of the person with dementia, are well trained and creative in keeping the person with dementia active and socially included. Hugely, hugely important. Because person-centered care for people with dementia emphasizes the importance of caring for all aspects of a person's well-being. Social, mental, emotional and spiritual needs, in addition to diagnoses and physical and medical needs. Now let's assume you work in an aged care facility and the person you care for is agitated, upset, aggressive, abusive or lashes out. Teepa Snell recommends using what she calls the positive physical approach. With that, she says, look friendly, and make the hi sign with the hand. Offer your hand, make eye contact, approach from the front, but move slowly. Non-threatening, basically. You initiate the greeting and introduce yourself and say, for example, "Hi John, I'm Elizabeth." Now keep your shoulders and your face back, respect the intimate space, no towering over them. But use a supportive stance. Stand to the right and not directly in front. Then get to their eye level, because their central vision is often stronger than the peripheral vision. But stay at arm's length, especially if that person tends to violence. Wait for their response before continuing, and then make positive statements. For example, "Let's try to get something done about that situation." Do this and show the person what you want to do by you doing it with your physical body. Or say something like, "Could you please help me with such and such?" Or say, "I'm sorry, help me to understand." Or, "I'm sorry, I didn't get that, please tell me again." That's especially important for people whose speech continuously deteriorates and they get very frustrated because they are lacking, they keep missing the words, or they can't think of what they were about to say. The speech becomes more slurred. Lots of aspects, and it must be very frustrating. Cohen-Mansfield say that focus on prevention, accommodation, and flexibility are essential elements of intervention. With that, we mean control the climate, for example. Prevent people getting too hot or too cold. Sticking to a toileting routine and looking for adequate hydration. Those are hugely important to prevent urinary tract infections, which could lead to delirium and to really erratic behavior. Prevention of unmet needs developing also means providing activity, and especially including people in your activities. Take them along for little errands and little activities. Make them feel wanted, appreciated, and useful. The accommodation of somebody's preferences, where possible, can also go a long way. Let's say the person is getting very stiff with their joints and doesn't want to use eating utensils. Okay, this might be a time to accommodate that desire. Rather give them that control and that freedom to still feed themselves, rather than insisting that it must be done in a prim and proper way. They may not tolerate the clothes protector that you want to use. Okay, time for accommodation. They may no longer speak in the common language, but resort back to their native language and not understand that you do not understand. And they assume you understand their language. So they cannot change. We must change around them. We must accommodate and prevent and be flexible to adjust to their daily routine, to their wishes when it comes to shower times, meal times, sleep times, the type of bath they want or don't want, and accommodate and be flexible as much as possible in an effort to reduce conflict. Well, I trust you found it helpful. Thank you for listening. The best way you can thank me is to like and subscribe. Please find attached the references.